Hi, it's John and welcome to the channel. It is 9 minutes after 7. I've got my big blue mug of coffee. Hope you're having a great day today. It is Friday, June the 13th. It's Friday the 13th today, so I hope you have a real lucky day today. And if you're here, thanks so much. If you have subscribed to the channel, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, would you kindly just click on subscribe? I would really appreciate it. So, I didn't feel inspired this morning when I got up. I've been up for hours. I've been up since 3:30. If you've been here before, you know I don't sleep very much. But I just haven't felt inspired. There's nothing that really grabbed me until just a few minutes ago. There's lots going on. We've got the G7 happening on my doorstep just outside Calgary in Kananaskis country. I think a big deal will be announced this weekend between Carney and Trump. Trump is going to hand Carney his hat. Big loss for Canada. Won't change a single Liberal voter's mind because the propaganda machine will be spinning by the end of the weekend. Just wait for it. Everything is going to be all rosy in Liberal land here in Canada. I did a video about a week ago saying I think the Liberals will be in power for a long time, and I think they're setting themselves up to remain in power. They're going to take complete control of the media. They're going to give a lot more money to the CBC, entrench the CBC in law. They're going to give more money to the legacy media. They're going to take control of what Carney calls pollution from the United States, and that's social media. They're going to start clamping down on independent media. He's banning Rebel News from the G7 this weekend. I think independent voices like myself, I'm a small player, will continue to be censored. A lot of people on YouTube will see that happening. I think it's happening right now. But what popped up to inspire me this morning? Well, it was this tweet from Marty up north. I met Marty when he was here for Poilievre's visit in Calgary prior to the election. You see him on with Clyde Do Something on YouTube very often. He's an Albertan. He's an independent-minded Albertan as well. He asked the question, Canada's Conservatives need a complete makeover. Is that too much to ask for? And it's something I've been thinking about a lot since the election campaign. I believe Conservatives need to get more emotional. I always say Liberals are emotional, Conservatives are logical. Conservatives want things like less regulation, less spending, lower immigration, smaller government, better home prices, lower prices, a better standard of living, lower taxes, on and on and on. But Conservatives need to get more emotional. Not give up on our conservative values, maybe even get more conservative in some ways, but get more emotional. The Conservatives right now in the House of Commons have the same message they had prior to the election and even when Justin Trudeau was still the Prime Minister. This is the kind of thing Conservatives are talking about right now. You think this would be something people would vote for, but in Canada, it's not.
The ask is simple. When will taxpayers get their money back?
Stand up. Tell us what date are Canadians getting their $100 million back? When?
When will we get our money back?
When will the Canadian taxpayer get their money back?
When can taxpayers expect a refund?
When will the hardworking men and women of this country get their money back?
When will the Liberals turn off the taps to their friends and focus instead on clawing back the money from this fraudulent GC strategy?
When will the Liberal Prime Minister get the money back that his government took from every Canadian's pocket?
I ask the Prime Minister again, when will taxpayers get their money back?
That's a good question.
You would think that message would be something that would ring true with most Canadians, but it doesn't with Liberal voters. These are people who think the federal government has a massive dash of money that they hand out to the provinces, not realizing it's their cash. The same people who think Canada's health care is free when it's very expensive, inefficient, and needs an overhaul. You're a logical person, they're an emotional person. I mean, the Liberals are still running with the same message they had prior to the election, and this is what they voted for.
I don't think we can change Donald Trump. I don't think so. Not at this stage. And a person who draws his inspiration from President Trump, like Pierre Poilievre, will kneel down before him, before he stands up to him.
There are still people who say that the Trump effect wasn't the reason why Pierre Poilievre lost the election. I don't think that's true at all. The Liberals tapped into the emotion of hating Donald Trump, and it continues online today. Constantly people going on how they'll never buy anything from the United States again, never visit the United States. It's a dangerous place. They've been programmed, and they're emotional about it. Going back to Marty's tweet, Canada's Conservatives need a complete makeover. What does that mean? I did a video yesterday The fish rots from the head down. Does Pierre Poilievre have to go? Who do you replace him with? You and I know that he did very well during the election. He came in second. Second place is the first loser. But who do you replace him with? And how do you tap into emotion if you're a conservative? Conservatives say the government is wasting their money. Does that tap into emotion? No, not like we hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the reason why you needed to vote for Liberal, because Mark Carney's the best person to negotiate with Donald Trump. How do you tap into that? They didn't do a good job of that, and Poilievre didn't do that. Housing prices are too high, debt has been doubled. That doesn't connect with people. I often said, you have to tell people how much extra they're paying at the pump because of the carbon tax. Not say the carbon tax is costing them money, how much every time they fill up. My wife, years ago, came up with a campaign for the Conservatives I still think they should use, and they could use in the next election. Instead of talking about the government wasting their money, what is it costing the average taxpayer? And her plan was this: a series of different commercials. A delivery truck shows up in front of somebody's house, and they start rolling a dishwasher up to the front door, and the people with big smiles on their face, ready to accept the dishwasher, when a man in a black suit shows up and rolls the dishwasher away again and puts it into another truck, and on the side of the truck it says, Liberal Party of Canada. You could do that with, buying a new computer or going on a trip, and at the end you say, what have the Liberals cost you? And that's the kind of thing that taps into emotion. I still think the Conservatives should use that. I think it was a great idea, but they didn't do that. Telling people that the government is wasting money, that's like people waking up in the morning. It's something you just expect. So we need to tap into that emotion. That's the important thing that Conservatives need to do. Don't give up your conservative values, but convey a message to people that really resonates. And I don't think the Conservatives are there right now. I think Poilievre will last the summer, and I think the knives will come out. I've mentioned it here on this channel before. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you've subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, please click on subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.